Hello, everybody out there. It's Chris. It's the Mad Respect. We're doing take 2 here. I recorded the intro of this video about an hour ago, and they were doing road work outside of my apartment, so I had to, yeah. So anyway, it's new comic book day. It's week 3, so no better time than to open up comic books from the first 2 weeks of April here. My 2 pre-orders from the Discount Comic Book Service, as well as a store exclusive from Economics and Comics that we'll get into. But I usually start all my videos with reviews of the books I looked at last time I unboxed. Start with Star Wars: The High Republic. This is issue number 8, which is continuing the story of I guess you would call it. What do you call that when people? Oh, unrest on the planet of Jeddah from Star Wars Rogue One, a Star Wars story. It takes place, I guess, 100 years before the first arc of High Republic, on Jeddah, and our 2 main Jedi protagonists are sent to the planet to dispel some unrest, and there's another eviler faction who is also on the planet already, creating the unrest, and I believe they also have the Leveler with them there, who will be appearing in the final 2 issues of this series. This is only going to be a 10-issue series this time around, so this is issue 7, actually, not issue 8, issue 7, so a few issues left. It's been pretty good so far. Okay, final issues out of this box. We got Inferno Girl Red, issue number 3, the finale to Inferno Girl Red. This comes from the Massive Verse Black Market narrative. It started with Kyle Higgins' Radiant Black. Excuse me, I'm still waking up. Kyle Higgins' Radiant Black. And this is, I believe, the 5th spear off of that. But Inferno Girl Red did appear last year in Supermassive one-shot special. It was her first appearance, where she teamed up with Radiant Black and Rogue Sun, and I believe at the end of April we'll be getting Supermassive Volume 2, unless it's coming at the end of May. I can't remember. I know I just pre-ordered it recently, but so this series ends off pretty good. Basically, Inferno Girl Red's mother has to make the ultimate sacrifice, and then you find out that the new Inferno Girl Red's teacher was indeed the original Inferno Girl Red, and now since Inferno Girl Red's mother is dead, she's going to take over the training and kind of guy in the seat type of role for this new Inferno Girl Red. So we'll see how long it takes for a second volume. I know this leads directly into the second Supermassive one-shot, is what it says. Here's the end of Arc 1 of Earth Divers from Stephen Graham Jones, and with art by David Guion Fleece. Stephen Graham Jones is primarily known as a horror author. His new book is called Don't Fear the Reaper, which is a sequel to My Heart is a Chainsaw. I think her name is Jade something. That's the main character in that set of stories. But this series is his comic book series, which is an IDW, part of the IDW Originals Initiative, which I believe has 2 new books announced for 2024 so far, and I've pre-ordered one of the 2, and I'm going to end up getting both of them. Of course, I'm trying to get all of the new IDW Original launches. So all of the IDW Original launches, I believe this concludes all of them besides Dead Seas, which started last, but this concludes the first arc of Earth Divers. And yes, our main character does at the end indeed change the future and murder Christopher Columbus by the end of this issue. Spoiler alert. So still very interesting. It does say that Arc 2 begins this fall, but there will be two issues with fill-in artist Riccardo Bercielli of what was that? DMZ. I think he was the artist on DMZ. He will be doing two fill-in art issues for a two-part gapping story before Arc 2 begins this fall. Here's the finale to Batman One Bad Day one-shot specials initiative. This is Batman One Bad Day for Raj Al Ghul. Or see, back when it was the animated series, I would always call him Ra's al Ghul, but now that I've seen the Nolan movie so much, he's definitely Ra's al Ghul as well. But this basically is, what if Ra's al Ghul was sad about the last African wolf dying and doing the John Wick revenge scheme on an ultimate scale. And in this book, Batman is murdered, and Damian, as Bruce's last wish, says, "I want you to try and stop Raj from finishing out," because Raj is killing off all of the top oil and environmental killer magnets in the world. He's killing them off one by one and replacing them at the top with members of the League of Shadows of his choosing, so that as those companies continue moving along in history, the world will become a greener and more pleasant place, as has been his goal since his first appearance in Batman 232. And then at the end of the issue, they throw Bruce into the Lazarus Pit and revive him, and him and Damian reconnect. And Damian's like, I never killed anyone to stop Grandfather from going throughout this, but Grandfather did when he replaced all these people, and is that really such a bad thing? And then at the end, Rage is there with I guess a genetically created new African wolf, and he's getting licked on the face by it and looking happy like a child. So interesting way to end that set of one-shots. Who is really the villain? Is it these environmentalists, or is it a megalomaniac like Ra's al Ghul? Here's the end of arc. I guess this is actually the end of the middle arc of the, I don't remember what the name of this new town is. Oh, it's on the back, I forgot. Girl in the Hurricane, part 5. I can't remember. It's a new town. It's a new town in, I believe, New Mexico she's in. And this is where the new arc is taking place. So the first arc was her arriving there and introducing us to the leader of the House of Cutter, who has been hired to track Erica down and murder her. And that led into this arc where Cutter arrives into town, causes distrust between the police and Erica here, and tries to frame all of Cutter's murders on Erica, while at the same time she's feeding the duplicity type monster children, trying to make him strong enough to help her at the end murder Erica, because she knows she can't do it herself. She already knows that. She knows that Erica is too badass. And so at this end of this, Erica escapes the police and is with the other secondary characters of Gabby, the little girl, and her aunt. And they're setting up a thing where Gabby will be set up as bait for the duplicitype so that Erica can take it out. And at the very end, you see two little boys breaking into the pool to take a swim. And as we know, the duplicitype is in there, and it is imitating what it fears the most, which at this point is Erica. So you see Erica, duplicitype, going, children. And that's the end of the second arc. So I assume, just like the Archer's Peak saga, this will be a 15-issue slow burn second arc. So instead of a 5-issue arc, some series have somebody who's killing the children has been having a 15-issue arc, and then they had the 5-issue flashback to Erica's initiation in between those. So, and then back to more monthlies. We got Invincible Iron Man #4, where we find out that the villain who has been murdering Tony's friends and trying to frame him for these crimes is indeed a mutant who has kind of a mad on that he was working for Stark during the Hickman run of Avengers, and when the Avengers fought on Mars against whoever they were fighting back in the start of the Hickman run, he did not. Tony shut down his plan to terraform Mars at that time, and then now, as you know, the mutants at the end of the first Hellfire Gala did terraform Mars, so he's kind of ticked off at both Tony and the mutants, and these books are both written by Jerry Dugan. So Iron Man and X-Men will be crossing over for a few issues coming up in the next couple months. So I'm interested to see both of those. Will be jumping back into X-Men for a few issues. My favorite ongoing at Marvel, definitely The Punisher from Jason Aaron with art by I can't remember the artist off the top of my head. With great art by Jesus Saez and Paul Azuqueta. Jesus Saez did some good Doctor Strange work about 4 years ago, and Paul Azuqueta was with Robert Kirkman on their creator-owned series at Image, and that became got optioned and became a TV show. And I'm blanking on the title, but it was about demons. So that was where Azuqueta is best known for. But this takes place after Frank has murdered Ares, and Frank is basically you see a whole swath of carnage. He's murdering He's basically got a Santa's naughty list, which is Frank's naughty list, and everyone on that list is going to be terminated with prejudice by him and the ninjas. And but at the end of the issue, Maria says, I know this is who you are, but I don't want you to come back here until you are done. And so just as Frank is about to elevate and be possessed and become the beast of the hand, he throws down his sword, breaks it in half, and says, I'm done. I want to go home to Maria. And then just then the Avengers appear and say, I think we got to have a talk. So that leads into the next issue, which is coming, unfortunately not in one of these boxes, but coming in my next box next week. That is one of my most anticipated books of next week. Here is a book I'm not anticipating anymore, is Thor with issue number 32. False advertising on the cover. Dr. Doom does appear in the issue. They do not appear face to face, although they are headed right to his castle on the final page of this. Torrin Grumbuck is doing an okay job. Juan Gideon is taking over the art because Nick Klein is taking over Incredible Hulk in a couple months, which I'm really excited for. That's written by Philip Kennedy Johnson. But I believe at the end of this Blood of the Father story, or whatever it is, by Torrin Grumbuck, I think I'm going to drop Thor. But they say that in the Thor annual coming in June, that there'll be a backup story in there which details the new direction for Thor. So maybe they're going to renumber Thor. We'll see what happens. I have every issue of the Donny Cates series, which is now Torrens, so maybe I'll just finish it out. Here's Detective Comics 1070 by Ron V. This has art by Raphael. So they couldn't keep Albuquerque on the art duties, but backup story by Cy Spurrier with Casper Wingard, who's doing great stuff on All Against All, and so now he's doing backups for Detective. This introduces the Vigil team, which is getting their own book next month, also by Ram V. It introduces them into the ongoing operatic themed storyline that's going through Detective right now, and they basically show themselves to Barbara and say, we know what's going on here in Gotham, and you guys, we pretty much think you and Bruce got it under control, but we're just here to tell you, if you don't have it under control, we're gonna come back and we're gonna do it right. So that was interesting. Here's one that somehow got away from the other conclusions. Here's the conclusion to Star Wars High Republic: The Blade. So this basically was solicited as being the uh, best hand-to-hand lightsaber fight, or best depiction of lightsaber skills in the history of comic books or in the history of the Jedi's. It wasn't quite that, but uh, they do have to quell this. This is another thing that takes place, at the same time as the current High Republic book, 100 years before the first High Republic books. But the universe is definitely, the whole universe is in unrest here, and this is just these two Jedi's on not Jeddah, but another planet, which is ruled by, I believe, like, it's called the Planet of Knives. So they're here on this planet, and there's unrest there, and they end the unrest, but the female Jedi, there's like a brother and sister Jedi. The female Jedi believes the Queen, and that's why they got involved in the situation in the first place. And the whole time, it turns out the Queen is lying, was just looking to overthrow the princess. The princess is lying, just looking to have her husband the prince overthrow the Queen. And so, since she was wrong about that, she says, "I can't continue on with you." Her brother, and her brother has to continue on by himself, and it says his story will continue in a story called The Fall of a Jedi or something. So it looks like another miniseries for him. And he appeared first in High Republic Adventures Annual #1, like blanking on his name. Here's the continuation of Carnage, issue number 11, but you could call it Carnage #1. First issue by Alex Packnadell, who's, again, the aforementioned All Against All, doing the great All Against All. He did Giga, he did Turncoat. Those are the ones I've read. I guess he has a few other titles that I haven't been able to get my hands on. But he is now the new writer on Carnage, and it's now, this issue at least, is directly taking place in the mindscape of Cletus Cassidy with Keith Neely, who has escaped the Carnage symbiote on Asgard, and somehow wished himself directly to Cletus. And now they're in Cletus's mindscape, where Cletus is murdering everybody and everyone, and it will continue on into the next issue. I've heard YouTubers speaking about this title, saying that he is continuing to murder a lot of people in Act 2 of Packnadell's Carnage run, and Packnadell will be spearheading the Carnage Reigns event that begins next month. So he's the architect of that. He's getting some more new good work at Marvel between that and Red Goblin. Here is the penultimate issue of Plush #5 by Doug Wagner and Daniel Hilliard. Basically, murder furries versus redneck cops. And the redneck sheriff wants our main character to marry his daughter, even though his daughter is fucking the other redneck cops. But some reason hasn't mattered on that this guy's going to marry his daughter. So, yeah. So, basically, in the issue before this, the main character agrees to marry the daughter if the cop leaves the furries alone. But the cop has already told all the redneck cops, we're going out to hunt humans. And they go and seemingly dispatch of all three of our furry characters, but they're all wearing a special Kevlar, and sets it up for the final battle. And our main character is looking at the furry suits on the wall inside and about to pick his furry suit and pick his side. Here's Vanish continues. Vanish #5 from Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman. I really, really enjoyed the first arc. This second arc begins with kind of like a swipe on the Moon Knight story by Jeff Lemire, where Moon Knight wakes up and they say, "You've been in this asylum your whole life. There's no Moon Knight." And this is basically saying the same thing. You've been in an asylum this whole time. There's no wizards, and you have no powers, And so, but introduces a new character who I don't know if they mentioned in the first arc, but he's like, wake up, you have to come back to the real world. So, and my favorite book at DC to finish off is Batman Superman's World's Finest, issue 13. This kicks off the Simon Stagg murder mystery story arc, written by Mark Waid with art by Dan Mora and Tamara Bonvillain. This is the Par Supreme DC book. It's basically taking all of the great stuff you remember about DC in the 80s and through the 90s, and then slapping the best artist that I have come across since I've come back to comics, at least superhero comics or action comics. You call them like action-oriented comics. Is Dan Mora, and he's fast as shit because he can do this, and he's doing Turtles and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then he's going to be jumping into Shazam while still doing this, and then he's going to be doing Batman Black and White in the world Brave and the Bold book. He's just fast, and his art doesn't suffer or look rushed because of it. So that is what I got into there. Let's get into the first. This is a big old box. This is a big box for the first week of April. Discount comic service. Oh, this box is not going to cut. There it goes. One time. There we go. Put it down here. Before we get into this, I also pre-unboxed this guy. This is the first part of the Sync number 11 Kickstarter. Was pre-shipped to me directly from Comics Tribe. I backed the Sync number 11 Cutthroat issue on Kickstarter from John Lee's Now Cormac, and I chose this t-shirt as one of my stretch goals. They added this pretty late, but they said, why don't you put this foil cover on a t-shirt, and I thought it was the coolest looking t-shirt. So I thought I'd wear this in this shirt, and this also alludes to this box because there is some more John Lee's goodness that came out in the first week of April. And if you know anything about John Lee's, you know what it is. But you'll see it here in a couple minutes. All right, here's first week of April from first week of April, Discount Comic Service. The conclusion. The long-delayed conclusion to Stillwater from Chip Zdarsky, Ramon K. Perez, and Mike Spicer. I have to dig out issues 13 through 17 so I can read the final article at once because I don't remember what the hell's going on at all. And it didn't take long to get to this. Here is cover B by Sally Cantonino to the nasty new number 1 at Vault Nightfall from John Lee's, with art by George Cambadias and Adam Cahoon, who will be taking over full art duties as of, I believe, issue 3, because Cambadias dropped out to do Dynamite books. Here's a Scotty Young variant for Venom issue number 18. I picked this one sight unseen on pre-order because it just said Scott Young variant. It said Young variant, so I decided to take a shot. I'm not really a huge collector of the baby covers, but sometimes when I do see them, they look pretty freaking awesome, and then those are the variants that sell out quickest, I guess. But so issue 18 Venom. Here's a continuation of Radiant Pink, issue number 4 from Camarina and Melissa Flores with art by Emma Kubert. Penultimate issue for Radiant Pink in the Massiverse. Here's Unlucky issue number 13 variant of Ghost Rider from Michael Walsh of the Silver Coin fame. He's the writer, he's the artist of the Silver Coin, and he writes the Calf issues, and every other issue is written by who's who of comic names. He had to stop Silver Coin to have a child, but I guess he had time to rip out this cover in his free time. This was originally solicited as a Boss Logic variant, issue number 13, and it was switched in time to change to, I think, Rod Rise. And Rod Rise is cool, but if I'm going to pick between my pal Michael Walsh here and Rod Rise, I'm going to pick Rod Rise, but I would have picked what's his name? Boss Logic, Sight Unseen. So I'd be interested to see what a Boss Logic Ghost Rider looks like. But this is a pretty awesome Michael Walsh, and it does just say Unlucky 13 in the box. That's kind of cool. But so if that Boss Logic cover is being held back for a what do you call it? Being held back for a ratio or a future issue, I still want to see that Boss Logic Ghost Rider cover. Here's Venom issue number 18. This is Nick Klein. PM. Who is PM? This is another. I don't ever get the A covers by Brian Hitch because I don't like Brian Hitch's Venom art. PM is Paco Medina. It's covered by Paco Medina. It shows the King in Black, Eddie as the King in Black actually on the cover. I thought that was Noel there, but it is Eddie. So Paco Medina variant. So yeah, I usually don't get multiple variants for my Venom. I usually just get one Venom, but they did not show this or the Scotty, so I went ahead and rolled the dice and picked both. Here is my first free comic book day issue of 2023. This is Free Comic Book Day, Madballs versus the Garbage Pail Kids. And I love this cover because it has Adam Bomb front and center right there. And does it have Oculus on there? That would make it even more perfect. I don't... no, I don't see Oculus. He's just a big eyeball. I don't see him here. That's a bummer. But it does have the skull one and the mummy Madball on the bottom, so those are pretty cool. But I suppose these are also coming out at the beginning of May, but Discount Comic Service has sent out a few free comic book day issues with these. I think both of these boxes on the unbox here. Here is my 3-pack of House of Slaughter issue number 13, cover A's by Mateus Mahanini, who's doing the A covers on arc 3 of House of Slaughter, The Butcher's Return. Middle part 3, The Butcher's Return. I did unbox my B covers, which I arrived first and delayed, and these are extra delayed. This is, I believe, a week 2 book, and I got it in week 1 of April, and I still don't have my C cardstock connecting, my 3 copies of that, so I'm thinking I'm never going to get those. They're going to get refunded in the far-off future. Here is the Dead Seas from the IDW Originals Initiative of 2022. This is by Coven Scott of High Republic and Nick Brokenshire on art. And this is cover C. Let's see if they put the artists on the back. They do. This is cover C by Corin Howell. So this issue has a couple more issues to go. I believe the new issue came out this week. And here is a much delayed issue. Of course, this came out the last week of February. This is I Hate This Place, issue number 6. It should be Fuck This Place, issue number 6. But they didn't send me my 2 explicit variants for issue number 6. So I have my 1 copy that I order of the I Hate This Place, issue number 6, which I'm happy to get because I haven't actually even got a chance to read it because it never came. It never came. Here is Dream Master, issue number 4 from Black Box Comics and Jonathan Hedrick, who I've taken a big rabbit hole down for Jonathan Hedrick. He is the writer of The Recount. Upcoming is Quicksand and Capable from various indie publishers that were originally kickstarted. And this is his new creation for Black Box Comics. So if you're not on this, get on this. I saw an interview with him and Bueller just before its release, and I've been on it since, and it's been really good. The art is really, when they say there's new artists that come out, they catch your attention right away. This is, let's just add artist with Baracelli. The cover art is just as good inside as the cover, not a bait and switch cover art sort of thing. Here's Batman 134. I'm falling back off of the art germ. I'm getting first part of this arc, I got the Joe Quesada variant, and now on the fourth part of the arc, I thought the Joe Quesada variant looked coolest to me on pre-order. And now that I have it in hand, I am not disappointed. It's pretty cool. And here's another Batman 134. These I bought sight unseen. And unfortunately, I didn't get, what do you call it? I didn't get to see them in hand for the first time because I saw them all over the internet last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever they first started showing up. This is the, what's his name? Tom King. This is the Tom King April Fool's variant for Batman number 134. I'm pretty psyched that it is a Batman number 1 homage because I've always wanted a Batman number 1 facsimile, which for some reason they have refused to do so far. Hopefully it's still forthcoming from DC. It says, "I'm sorry, Bob," Tom King in the signature box, and it says, "All brand new adventures of Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder." And instead of DC, it says TK. And it says number 134 April Fool's issue at the top. You got a good laugh out of me, Tom. That was worth my $3 or whatever I paid pre-order. Here's the nasty cover A, number 1 from John Lee's John Camadeus and Adam Cahoon. Most anticipated comic. I will be reading this while this video uploads because I'm really into that. Here is On Time, my Fuck This Place issue number 7 from Kyle Starks with art by Artyom Toplin. Sad news, I hear that it's only going 2 arcs. Series will end at issue 10. Kind of a bummer. I do quite enjoy Fuck This Place. This is my second explicit variant for Fuck This Place. Back to Mr. Tom King with his Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, issue number 7. April Fool's variant. Let's see if he's trying to. I believe this is. It says, "I'm sorry, Mr. Rogers." Even before I read that down there, this is definitely a homage to Batman number 475 or 6, which was the classic Laughing Fish issue of Detective Comics from Steve Englehart and Marshall Rogers. This one's pretty cool. I definitely think his Joker looks pretty sick, actually. I mean, his Batman's still just a sticky figure, you know? I don't know why there's some guy walking along Batman's cape, but, yeah. Very good, Tom, very good. You've done a good job on these covers. Alright, I gotta find some place for these. Hey, quit where my drink is at. Alright, we're halfway through this stack. This is a big stack for week 1. King Spawn, issue number 21. This is cover B by Jonathan Glapion. Not just the best anchor for Greg Capullo, but a very sick variant cover artist in his own right. Here is cover B, or C, probably cover C by Francesco Mattina for Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, issue number 7. Soak it in. Joker is climbing out of his own mouth, which is inside his own mouth, which is inside his own mouth, which is inside his own mouth. Love it. Here is issue 3 of Where Monsters Lie from Kyle Starks with art by Piotr Kozlowski. Great series. Looking forward to seeing how it continues and then how it ends in a few weeks. Here's the next part of Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 23. What did Peter do? We're going to get closer to finding out what he did definitely in this issue as he battles the Fantastic Four. We saw him re-entering mainline 616 from the alternate universe that him and Mary Jane were sucked into in issue 21 and then was shot out of at the end of issue 22, and he was re-entering. I believe that's where he's going to wake up in the crater when he wakes up from re-entering 616 there. Here's my second Free Comic Book Day, issue of 2023. Free Comic Book Day, The Umbrella Academy, also featuring The Witcher. This is by Gabriel Baugh and Gerard Way. Is this just a reprint of Umbrella Academy? Is this a new arc of Umbrella Academy starting here? I'm pretty interested to see what's going to happen there for sure. Let's see what's in there. Witcher? I don't give a shit. Here is next one. Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures. This is by Daniel Jose Older with art by Harvey Talabo. They did the original Star Wars High Republic Adventure series at IDW, and it has a Avatar: The Last Airbender backup stories. I don't care about Avatar: The Last Airbender. Here's one I picked. I believe I picked this sight unseen because it said for Zetaverse. I had to pick, like, I think I got 10 added free for how many comics I bought last year, which was the same. Which I bought a lot more comics in 2022 from Discount Comic Stores than I did in 2021. Let's put it that way. And I still only got 10. I don't know if it just caps at 10. That's not fair. But I was able to pick 10, and you can't get like doubles of. I couldn't get like 10 High Republic. I had to get one of each, up to 10 books for free. This is for Zetaverse Free Comic Book Day from Opus Comics. This is the only Opus comic I've been able to find. I believe they do carry the. I've seen one Opus comic at my LCS, but I can't order it from my library to read. What do you call it? And the trade hasn't come on Amazon or anything. I really want to read the Death Dealer series. Here's issue 4 for Nightclub. $1.99? Are you out of your mind? No, they're not. It's still just as good as a $3.99 comic, and I'm enjoying it. Mark Miller and Juan Ramirez, their take on teenage vampire superheroes. I was all in just based on that description, but $1.99, that helps too. Here is Breath of Shadows, issue number 3 from Rich Doak and Alex Cormack. This is their third historical horror miniseries for IDW. And I believe this might be the last IDW book, yeah. So, IDW, their, what do you call that? Their Originals Initiative, it solicited all of these books in a free one-shot. That caught my attention. I got all of those books. It had an ad for another series called Something Mountain Massacre. Sounded really interesting. And the art was by the artist of... Mountainhead. The art was by the artist of Mountainhead was the artist for the series, and it's called like Something Mountain Massacre, and it was solicited for I believe summer of 2022, or maybe it was solicited for the first part of 2023. It still has never been solicited to buy. It didn't come out, and I'm hoping it does because I love the art in Mountainhead, and I'll definitely support it as I've supported all of these IDW originals. The 2 new ones we'll discuss at the end of the video. I'll grab my phone and I'll tell you what they're called. And the final floppy of week 1 is I Hate This Place, issue number 7. A copy of the clean cover. And the last thing from box 1, triple dipping. Not really triple dipping, double dipping. Back in the fall, they had the glow-in-the-dark standard size hardcover of Batman Spawn, which collected Batman Spawn number 1 from Frank Miller and Todd McFarlane, as well as the DC version by Grant and Dixon and Klaus Janson, and Munch, I think, wrote it too. Did Munch write that? It doesn't say, but this only credits Todd McFarlane and Greg Capullo. But this actually collects all 3 specials, because the one that came out in November was to promote the upcoming Batman Spawn Part 3 special that came out directly from Image. It was an Image DC collab, of course. It was Batman Spawn, but that one was written by Tom McFarlane and inked by Tom McFarlane with art by the incomparable Greg Capullo. I believe, yeah, this is a homage to the Batman Spawn number 1 cover that was by Todd McFarlane. This is a recreated piece of art by Greg Capullo, inked by Todd McFarlane. That's pretty awesome. I thought this was just the cover to Batman Spawn, the original. Nope, I guess that's worth it. But this is an oversized hardcover, which is why I double dipped. And I didn't even know the first one had the glow-in-the-dark cover when I bought it. Not yet, babe. Make my video and I'll be done. I was charging the phone. So, that's the end of box 1. Let's see what I got from Economics and Comics. This was one of the Economics and Comics store exclusives. The best 8 billion Genies variant. Not the best number 8 variant, but the best 8 billion Genies variant in the series. From our boy, Pool Boy, Michael McComb. This is I Dream of Genie is number 8. I Dream of Genie. So, they released the free comic book day blank. I wish I should have pulled that out before I made this video, but there was the blank. It was just basically this genie that's behind her on a blank cover. And they did a contest. Everybody could do their best genie on the blank and send it into Image by a certain time, and you'd get the deluxe signed hardcover of 8 billion Genies. The whole miniseries in one hardcover, deluxe special one for you and one for your retailer. So Billi and Pool Boy decided to rip this one up for the for the contest, but Pool Boy is too slow and could not get it finished in time. But they did send in the concept to Image, and it was approved, so they were able to get their cover out to us as an exclusive variant, which is sold out completely. Print run of 440. Let's see what my number is. Are these numbered? I'll find out if these are numbered in a sec. Negatory. Mine is not numbered, but this is variant 8. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Cover H by Michael McComb. Cover H, Michael McComb. 8 billion Genies, number 1. Number 8, excuse me, number 8. Not numbered, but we know there are 440 copies because of the C2E2 debacle with the creators of 8 billion Genies selling specially printed copies of all of the store exclusive variants at the con behind the store's backs. Alright, let's break into week 2 from the Discount Comic Service. Although it seemed like there was more books, the box is much smaller than week 1. But week 1 had a lot of extra books and covers that were held back from me in March and as far back as February. So, bam, this little stack here. I'm about to do my little thing with showing off the invoice on my Discount Comic Book Service order. Let's see, is it down here? Negative, it disappeared on me. It disappeared on me. We'll look at this invoice on this box though. That's gonna fall on the floor. I don't want that to happen. Nobody wants that to happen. Alright. Up there for a minute. That's cool looking. Flip that. That. Alright, we're good. Here's my invoice for week number 2. Minus the hot book of week number 2 was World Tree, number 1 from JT4, James Tynion the Fourth. 16 comics. Coming in week number 2. World Tree, the cover was printed too dark, and Tynion had a hissy and said, let's push it back to week 4. My box, which did ship yesterday for next week, does have my cover A's, supposedly. And my Frizen cover C, which did not have a printing issue. So I'm hoping I am going to get at least one of the error number 1s, but I hope I don't get 3 of them. And then Economics and Comics also shipped my cover A, B, C, and D yesterday. So I'm hoping I get the full cover art for, especially the Sienkiewicz one. I don't want the dark Sienkiewicz cover. I want to be able to see the art on the Sienkiewicz. Here we go. Kicking off week 2 with Clear, number 2 from Scott Snyder and Francis Manipool. This is one of Scott Snyder's Comixology originals coming to print at Dark Horse. And since we have Scott Snyder on the horn, Scott Snyder, JT4, Rom V, and all the latest artists who have ever worked with him are coming out with a new digital, physical, kickstarting, whatever, all this stuff all together, put together in this new publishing arm that they're creating coming up later in 2024, where they're going to bring their creator-owned works directly to you without a middleman, so you can either buy and collect the digital files and buy and resell the digital files as you like, or wait a little while and get the physical, or maybe the physical comes out at the same time. I'm not sure what all the details are, but it seems like an interesting idea for a new comic book company, which includes Snyder, James Tynion IV, and Ron V, which are 3 of my favorite writers, so I am on the surface all in. Here is Radiant Black, issue number 23. This is the penultimate issue of this arc. This is by Kyle Higgins with art by Ferragato. This is probably cover A. This is cover A by Marcelo Costo, because it has a bunch of big bad robots on it. I usually try to get a variant on Radiant Black most months, but there are some months that the variant is not appealing, so I chose that one. Here is Vault Nightfall, issue number 3, featuring Denizen and the Cemeterians. Denizen is by David Andre and Tim Daniel, with art by Chris Sheehan, and the Cemeterians is by our friend Daniel Krause, with art by Mon House. Daniel Krause did finish George Romero's final novel, The Living Dead, and did the screenplay for the Academy Award-winning The Shape of Water, and now he's slumming in the comics at both Vault, AWA, and I believe he's done some work at Image. But this is the off-delayed, slow to gestate Nightfall double feature series. I think the first issue came out in 2021 and late 2021, and 1 issue last year, and now here's issue 3 to Chris in 2023, and I am getting the deluxe foily cover variants. I believe this cover is by Sheehan. The first one was a kick in whoever the vampire guy is, the Spawn vampire guy. There's a kick in cover by him. 3 names. Jason Sean Alexander. Barbaric Hell to Pay, issue number 3, from Michael Morisi and Nate Gooden. Issue number 3, this is a variant cover. Cover by Howell, Corin Howell, cover B. Might not even be cover B. It is cover B. Cover B by Corin Howell. There we go. All Against All. Here we are, the finale to All Against All, issue number 5, from Alex Packnadell and Casper Wingard. I sung their praises earlier in the video, but anticipating the final issue. 8 Billion Genies, issue number 8, cover B by Paulo Rivera. I've been getting all the cover Bs up until issue 8. I think I'm going to end up with all variants to this issue, ABC, and the Pool Boy store exclusive, because I was making a FOC pre-order. I wanted to add some more books to make the shipping seem less offensive. Does anyone else do that out here in the community? Noctera, issue number 13, cover B by Gary Frank. I believe this is Frank's month. It is Gary Frank and Brad Anderson. This is part 2 of No Breaks. which may or may not be the final arc of Noctera, seeming to be that way. But oddly, they have a special between arcs with Noctera. This time, the special will be in the middle of the arc, not between arcs, but in the middle of No Breaks will be the special coming in June. Moon Knight, issue number 22. There's just blood all over it. I don't see any signature of it. That's a cool cover. I can't remember who it is. But pretty good. I hear this is an all Tigra all the time issue. She's not on this cover, but I love Moon Knight. It's in my top 5 Marvel monthlies. I like it. That's why I'm continuing to collect it. Star Wars, The High Republic, Beware the Leveler. This is A. This is cover A. This is cover A. That's the Leveler. He's hanging at the top of the cover. And I hear these all have Marvel paper defects. According to Economic Songs, yep. Several possibly non-breaking color ticks all up the spine on every issue printed because of Marvel shitty paper. So there's that one. There's that one. This one feels a little less damaged through the bag at least. This is my second copy. Here is Sandman, Nightmare Country, The Glass House, first issue, issue number 1. This issue got some ire online, I guess. We got ourselves a wrapper. So, this is new to our B cover, or whatever cover this is. This is actually cover 7. So 7, cover G. This is cover G by Yoshitaka Amano. So, I believe this is new art to cover B, or cover B or C. And this was a 1 in 50 for Dead Boy Detectives. I don't recall the issue number, but this was either a foil or a regular 1 in 50 cover to Dead Boy Detectives a few months past. And DC decided at FOC to slap them together on a connecting wraparound cover and screw everybody who bought the 1 in 50 and sell this to me for $2.50 with discount. Thank you, DC. And sorry to anyone who forked out extra for the 1 in 50. But I didn't know that. I mean, I knew it before I bought it, but you know, I don't feel bad for getting a open order variant. Star Wars: The High Republic. This is issue number 8 in the variant edition. I'm gonna pull this out for 2 reasons. I'm gonna see if the damage is as bad as on cover A. Actually, this is, compared to cover A, this is practically a 9/8, but it does have, instead of like all the way up and down the spine, just 2 non-color breaking sign ticks. This I'm guessing this is a Marguerite Sauvage variant, which is cover D. Cover D for Star Wars: The High Republic. Issue number 8. So there's that one, Marguerite Sauvage variant. And you're not seeing double. I get 2 of all the High Republic, and I'm holding it. Here is the finale to the Tom King April Fool's variants. This is... Okay, let's check this out. It says I'm sorry. Oh, I thought it said anger, but it says banger. banger down the street. There's severed arm down here. There's, I think that's the Creeper. Presume that is, I wouldn't think it was Zatanna, except it says she's wearing a police hat. I'm not reading Danger Street. But issue 5 of Danger Street, the final Tom King April Fool's cover that I bought sight unseen on FOC. 2 more. Carnage. Carnage issue number 12. This has the Marvel paper defects too. Oh, one left. These aren't as bad as High Republic cover A. So this is Alex Pecknadell's second issue to Carnage and the return of Francisco Mana, whoever Mana is. Mana is the original artist. Just kicked off Carnage with Ron V. He's back for this issue. Kick-ass cover art by Kendra Kunka Lim as usual. And Kendra Kunka Lim has a sick Zatanna cover coming up for DC's Night Terrors that you should all take a look at online. Last book out of this second week's pre-order, Sandman Nightmare Country, The Glass House, issue number 1, cover A by our good friend Rico Murakami, who has done all of the great painted, disturbing work on all Sandman Nightmare Country cover A's. This is from James Tynion IV, with art by Lisandro Esteren, taking full art duties on at least the first issue of this new arc. There were special guest backup or middle part of the story artists on all but on 5 or 6 issues of the first series, which made it kind of nice. So this is the beginning of the second arc to Nightmare Country, the James Tynion Corinthian centric Sandman story. And all right, let me quickly look at my pre-order, and I'll let you know about those. I'm trying to think what they're called. The new IDW originals. My phone is slow. Apologies. I'm going to go over an hour waiting on my phone. Here we go. Does anyone else take that long just to open one screen on your phone? Let me know in the comments. No, I want order history. Bam. All right. The first new original for IDW. Where's that darn thing? It's called Bryn Mawr. Bryn Mawr is coming from IDW. And then it'll just be easier to do this. Really none, huh? I hit the wrong one, that's why. All right. Bryn Mawr is by Steve Niles of 30 Days of Night fame and Criminal Macabre. I'm getting cover B by Francisco Francavilla, as usual. I love Francavilla. And their second new original is called Cat Fight, which is coming from Andrew Wheeler, and art by Elias Kriazis. Unfamiliar with that artist. But I will probably end up getting cover B by Beals. It looks pretty cool. And yeah. And then they're also having the second arc of Dark Spaces, which is called Good Deeds. It's branded Scott Snyder's, but he no longer is going to be writing it. And then I'm going to try and look up that other IDW Massacre book. Damn it. Sorry. Massacre. No. It's not Massacre. I know it was Mountain, though. IDW. I can't remember what it was called. I just know it was about bikers and, like, kind of like, it definitely had something to do with bikers, and it definitely, definitely had to do with bikers, and it definitely was like, had like Cthulhu vibes, and it was a horror, like action sort of book, and the art was by the artist from Mountainhead, Ryan Lee. I remember his name, Ryan Lee. I remember his name now. And that never, it was solicited in the back of all of the IDW originals, all through the prospective runs of those IDW originals, but it just never was solicited or came out. I'm interested in reading it in the future, so be back next week. I have I did some auction action. I got more Economics and Comics is on the way. I got next week's Discount Comic Book Service on the way. I got a giveaway that is still forthcoming. I guess the guy changed credit cards and he wasn't able to do anything, and he also went on vacation. So no problem, Cole. When it gets there, it gets there. We'll open it up, show it off. And I think that's pretty much all that's coming up. All right, everybody, have a great night. We'll see you in the next one.